My name is Reed Yobe. Welcome to my YouTube channel where I talk about relationships, life issues, and business. By definition, public relations is a planned and sustained effort to establish and maintain goodwill and mutual understanding between an organization and its publics. Once again, by definition, public relations is a planned and sustained effort to establish and maintain goodwill and mutual understanding between an organization and its publics. Publics is a term that is peculiar to public relations, which refers to organizations or individuals that have got either direct or indirect interest in the organization. Public relations seeks to maintain certain attitudes towards the organization, or maybe to change certain negative attitudes into positives and then maintain those positive attitudes. The negative attitudes can be identified as hostility, apathy, prejudice, and ignorance. Public relations will seek to change hostile attitudes into sympathy, apathy into interest, prejudice into acceptance, and ignorance into knowledge. Public relations is being used by companies, individuals, and countries to establish and maintain goodwill and mutual understanding between the organization and its publics. But today I'm talking about countries. I'm mainly concerned about the countries in the world. There are countries that have successfully used public relations. And if a leader or a president has got a full understanding of the significance of public relations, that country will be very successful. But you see, as presidents change, some of them may not be aware of the significance of public relations. Hence, they may stop certain public relations activities. But what they do not understand, or what they do not know, is that as they stop some of the public relations activities, that stopping will have a negative effect on the country. There are certain things that certain countries do which may seem like maybe a waste of money, but it's not a waste of money. It's not a waste of money. Those things have got they're actually strategies to achieve certain objectives, and there are public relations activities or public relations strategies that are in place to achieve something, and they are achieving something. It's not all free. One thing that you have to understand is that there are a lot of things that happened in the past that have to do with wars, slave trade, and colonialism that affected people's lives and caused them to have certain attitudes towards others. There are people that are being hated today not for the thing that they did, but for the things that were done by their ancestors. There are people that cannot be trusted today, not because of who they really are, but because of what their ancestors did. We all know what happened as far as the slave trade is concerned. There are things today that we cannot reverse because of that were caused by slave trade. There are things that we cannot reverse today that were caused by colonialism. But we can start all over again. Accept things the way they are today and start all over again. And that's exactly what some countries have been doing. And they've been successful in their public relations activities. People don't need to be reminded of what happened in the past. And the attitudes that people used to have towards each other in the past. We don't need that again. But you'd find that there are some presidents today that are doing certain things to kind of reverse things. I once said it in one of my videos that there is no country that can operate in isolation. All the countries that are in the world need each other. But we find ourselves at a point in time when some countries feel like they don't need anybody. They don't need others. They can make it on their own. And they are now trying to cut costs as they stop certain public relations activities, like sponsorships and donations that are being rendered to countries that are victims of what happened in the past, which includes colonialism, slave trade, and wars. Because of greed and also because they can. Some countries are now abusing powers to overpower and bully weak nations. But what they fail to understand is that their actions will have negative effects on their own countries. Like I said, there is no country that can operate in isolation. Some of these powerful or rich nations are making a lot of money through trade because they're exporting a lot and they're making a lot of money. But at the same time now they want to cut costs and stop some very important public relations activities. You see, what public relations does, it creates goodwill. You see, when you're helping certain nations, and those nations, they probably have also something to offer. What they end up doing is, if it's trade or maybe if it's something that you would want to buy, they'll end up considering you and you alone to say, no, we are just going to sell whatever we sell to only this country. And if we are to buy, we are only going to buy from this country because look, this is the country that is helping us. And some countries will just be looking from a distance to say, no, this country is being nice. helping out some other poor nations. Let's also give them business. Let's buy from them. Let's import some products from this country. But one thing that you have to understand is that there are things that people are buying from certain countries, not necessarily because they cannot produce those things or they cannot get them from other countries at good prices, but they are simply doing it out of goodwill. Because this country happens to be just nice. They are helping us in quite a number of areas. So no, we cannot buy from anyone else. Let's just give them business. But now, when you stop some public relations activities, then you cause certain nations to have an attitude towards your own country. And when they have an attitude towards your country, they may stop also buying from you. And then focus on what they can produce themselves. Or if they really need what they were getting from you, then they start buying from other countries. There are countries that I know that are selling stuff that can be bought from other countries at even better prices. And you can actually tell that no, it's just because of the relations between these two countries. That's why they are buying from them, not necessarily because they can't get it from other countries. You see, there's a statement that was once made by a certain politician. He said, in politics, there are no permanent friends. In politics, there are also no permanent enemies. No permanent friends, no permanent enemies. So you see, this might result in certain countries that were never working together in the past starting to work together now. And the very country that thinks they are very powerful and they can make it on their own, they can be isolated. Any country can be turned into a beggar if the world is to decide to isolate it. There are countries that are now at a point where they feel like they don't even need their allies, the people that had been the people that they had been working with in the past. But this is going to have some serious negative effects on those particular countries. They may not feel it now, but eventually they will. What the world needs today is love, peace, and unity. We all own this world regardless of our races, regardless of colors of our skins. We are at a point in time when we own the whole world together, and we all need each other. The downfall of a country begins when the leaders think and feel like they can make it on their own. Unfortunately, the innocent citizens in the end are the ones that are going to suffer, and they will suffer. Blessed are democratic nations. Blessed are democratic nations, because when the suffering comes because of the decisions that the leaders make, they can exercise their democratic rights to correct things. I hope I help someone. My name is Reed Yobe. Thank you.